Welcome, Horror Fam, to HHN 365, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. My name is Mike, and as always, I'm here with my co-hosts, Jonathan, Duff, and Jess. How's it going, guys?
I've been relegated to the second name? What the fuck?
Oh, I mix it up.
No, you've
I mix
never.
it up.
I've
I'm
always
last?
been first.
No, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm first.
Excuse me. Duff, I've always been. This
I'm
is very
leaving.
like oldest, middle, and youngest child argument.
I love you guys all equally.
Oh, that's a lie. Duff gets all the attention.
I'm the face of this podcast.
You're the face.
I have to pull over this car. Let me start this show.
I'd like to point out before you start, Dad. Sorry, but Duff has not acted in a single video yet for him to say he wants to be the face of this podcast.
No, I didn't say I want to
bitch.
be. I said I am. There's a difference.
Oh, I'm so
I
sorry.
don't even have to try, Jess. That's the thing.
I dyed my hair, and now Duff is like a whole different person.
I'm the colorful hair now.
Mike, you may begin.
On today's show, we will be talking about all the news, rumors, spec map, videos dropped by Universal. There's a ton to talk about. But before we do, as always, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at HHN365. And we have a TikTok at HHN365pod. Join us in our Discord. Link is in the description. And we have a merch shop at HHN365.com. And we have just dropped a bunch new merchandise. Please go check it out. And leave us a voicemail at 407-906-4134. All right. Where do we start, kiddos?
Well, first, let's give a few updates before we get into the real fun. It's stress. The stress is hitting. HHN 36 Live has now been scheduled for this month. That'll be Wednesday on April 24th. So you can come join us in person or on TikTok Live at Universal Studios, Florida. We'll give an exact time later, but that's the day. Wednesday, April 24th. I'm sorry, May 24th. I forgot what month we're in. We're also going to do our Discord event. It won't be a Q&A this time. It'll be a different kind of activity. We'll announce exactly what that is when we figure it out, but the date will be Sunday, May 28th.
We doing something, though.
We're doing something. We'll be there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you should be there.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I got. Now we can talk about the fun stuff.
Yeah, do we want to
Okay.
talk a little bit like about the merch more? I alluded to it, but we didn't talk too much about it.
I mean, I guess last time we recorded, we also didn't get to talk about the Legends Collide shirt, did we?
No, we
So we
didn't.
can really
No,
talk about
yeah.
that one. So along with the aforementioned on last week's episode, shirts that were Dead Man's Pier, which is it my favorite video? They're all good videos. I'm not going to say. I'm not picking a favorite.
Oh, no, that's not my
I
favorite.
can't do it.
That one's definitely not my favorite.
We have the NBA Jam inspired HHN Jam that pits the blood. Get it? Pits. The blood pit and blood prey nightingales against each other. And now the Legends Collide shirt, which is it's beautiful. I love it so much. We've taken we didn't do it, to be fair. It is the facade of Legends Collide with the monsters hidden around it, and it's a beautiful design.
I would just like to say that it smells like Potter's house in here.
Oh my God, goodbye. I'm leaving. Thank you so much. It's been so fun on the
Yo,
show.
That
Kata.
was my favorite. Kata.
Okay, all right. And Jonathan also acted.
No, I'm not making. No, I think of all of. We've had some great lines, and
Oh, yeah.
it's smoky as Potter's house in here. my favorite.
Oh my God, my legacy.
Or Hopper. It was Hopper. That's what it was.
It was
Hopper.
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 Jess,
Hopper.
you are the reason the Panthers beat the Bruins.
The
by
Panthers
doing
beat the
that.
Bruins. Game 7, baby. It's my doing. I did it.
Exactly.
You're welcome.
I appreciate your
Round two.
sacrifice.
My sacrifice. Back to Universal. What a good segue,
Oh,
Dov.
thank you. My favorite music.
What are we talking
video.
about?
Sorry, I derailed it with my.
You derailed it. I don't
terrible
know.
Boston accent.
All right, Jonathan, we're news and rumors. This is where you take over. Come on.
It's a me. Okay, so
What the fuck is going on? I was gone for 1 week, gentlemen. 1 week.
We all have terrible accents.
exactly. Exactly.
Jonathan, please save this episode.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure. First thing we're going to talk about is actual Horror Nights news. Not rumors or speculation, just straight up news. And that is that HHN external auditions for scare actors, stilt walkers, and puppeteers are now out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I know we talked about last time, dancer auditions and vocal auditions were out, but now we have, scare actors, stilt walkers, and puppeteers. And I mean, it's just another sign that the event is, a lot closer than we might think. It's only like 4 months away.
Literally from today, the day we're recording. Not the day you're listening, but the day we're recording. Exactly 4
It's
months to
coming.
go.
It's coming.
Yay.
Absolutely. And our next segment here is the John Murdy segment, in which basically John Murdy is the creative director for Hollywood's HHN. He tweets a lot of stuff, and we find the tweets that have news in them, and we talk about it. So the first segment here, the first thing he said or tweeted was that he created at least 2 original icons this year for Hollywood's event. And part of me is concerned he might not attribute the word icon to what we attribute the word icon to. He might think it has a slightly different meaning.
Yeah, I've made some original icons. One is Chucky. The other is Phantom.
Very, very original. They were original at one point.
That is fair. What
But-
is original?
That's a deep question, It's very deep. But I wonder what this means, though. Like, does this mean original characters in houses? Does this mean there's going to be characters that have like a big presence in houses or something like that? Does it mean that it's actually icons or something? This can be taken a lot of different ways.
Will we even get them, or did he just write them and create them?
Ah, good point.
I remember he considered La Llorona an icon.
But she doesn't. She's just in the... Okay.
Weird. Okay.
It's weird.
Fantastic house, but
So that's why I'm saying it's hard to tell what he exactly means by this statement, because what does he consider an icon?
John,
Yeah, I feel like that definition just changes in Hollywood, where they're like, Hollywood Harry's kind of an icon, and
I would say he is.
actually kind of is. That's
Well,
an icon.
well, for
Yeah.
their Terror Tram, but he wasn't like a full event icon, was he ever?
He's been on like marketing before, which I think also like kind of helped justify being an icon.
John, for the
Yeah.
love of God, just on your way back to Ireland this year, stop in Orlando and
This
just
year, this month.
experience a different HHN. Please.
You got this. I believe in you. You can do
He
it.
won't. He won't do it.
So our next tweet here is something we've talked about, or in reference to something we talked about before. We've had conversations in the past of John Murdy talking about a potential something involving HHN updaters and killing them, or stuff relating to that. And he basically said, someone asked him about that, or there was like a whole tweet thread that was going on about this. And basically, he said in regards to the HHN updaters thing that he's writing, which he's killing a lot of them, he said, that reminds me, I need to ping my AV team to see when we're filming all of this stuff. Now, there is a key word in this sentence, and that is filming. To me, that means that, it could mean 2 things. Well, it means 3 things. 1, it's probably not a house. 2, it could be for the Terror Tram and like the little video they have as you're going onto the Terror Tram and going out. Or, I'd say the most likely scenario, it could be related to the marketing that's happening right now, which we are going to talk about more in depth a little bit later. But it has a very similar vibe to what we recently saw in the newest video that circulated on YouTube and social media from Horror
I would
Nights.
like to point out, while I don't think it is the case, I don't think it means that it's not going to be a house, because it could be like a pre-show video as well for a house.
It could be,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Horror Hotel had a pre-show video. So my thing is, and I bring it up all the time, if we're making icons, this kind of sounds in the way that like the Killustrator is.
Ooh.
Where like, what if it is an updater or a vlogger or a podcaster or whoever, and they are either like the icon or like kind of like a semi-icon of maybe just the marketing or maybe like the zones or something. But yeah, like we're gonna talk about the video, but that whole thing kind of makes me feel like maybe they're leaning into that a little more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get in a lot of discussion about that really soon, and it has me really excited. But yeah, this was very interesting. And moving on to the next one here, the last John Murdy tweet is something very basic, but it's always a good thing. Is that as of 6 days ago, Scenic is going on in 3 houses there. So once again, things are moving.
Vroom vroom.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah. From but now we're actually going to jump into the Horror Night Nightmares spec map version 2 for Orlando because there's a lot of news mixed in with it in addition to the map itself. So as we go through the map house by house, when there's a house that has particular news or something related to it, we will talk about that. And so we're technically still in the news and rumors section. It's a weirder version of it. It's different.
Is it odd?
Let's do it.
It's very odd, actually. So, do we want to start with just the house right on the top left?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one. So we should clarify all of the symbols or houses here. If they have a star next to it, that means they're an original. So we're gonna let you guys know if you're listening if it's an original or if it's not an original. And this one is. It's an original. You can see a little town. There's a pentagram on the top there, and yeah, it's just a symbol with the town and the pentagram, and it can mean a lot of things. What do we think it means?
I also think it kind of looks like there's a church up at the top, like a steeple.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
And like pentagram and church, I mean, that all kind of leans Wiccan, witchy to me. I know we've talked about this before and a lot of people are talking about it, but let's redeem Spirits of the Coven.
Oh god.
And do like legit witch lore. Don't give me like some gimmicky witch shit like that. Give me witches in there, whichever, and also like whichever culture witch you're gonna pick, because pretty much everybody has some kind of a witch lore. Just pick one and do it well, like they do with like historical houses or cultural houses like Chupacabra, like La Llorona, stuff like that. Pick one and do it well. Okay, I'm done.
Just pick one.
Just pick one.
Like we said, I know the general rumor is, witches surrounding this amongst the community, and I mean, I kind of have a similar fear of how they're gonna do this because, I mean, Spirits of the Coven. That's all I have to say. That's my reasoning of why I'm afraid of this potential house, whatever it may contain. Though, I mean, maybe this is just a full-on redemption. Like they did Spirits of the Coven, they went, we gotta redeem ourselves, and they're like, okay, we gotta make a better witch house. So maybe that's why this is here. Because I will say it is odd that there's a chance there might be 2 witch houses in a row. I mean, witches are a known Halloween thing and horror thing, but I know Horror Nights usually likes to switch it up every year. You don't get generally the same types of things every year, even if it looks like the witches here are going to be in a completely different setting than the one in Spirits of the Coven.
For me, looking directly at this, like it would be coming to my mind, like Samhain. But they kind of just did that last year in a scare zone.
Yeah.
Sort of. I mean, that
they
was
definitely tried to.
It was a thing that sort of did Samhain. But
yeah,
like when I look at that, that's what comes to mind immediately.
Yeah. Like Celtic. Yeah, if people don't know.
Yeah, and something I should clarify is that we're not really going to be talking about locations on this map, besides one particular instance, because Horror Night Nightmares went out and made a tweet saying, "Don't focus on locations, don't focus on entrance points. They don't matter." And I know a lot of other people and insiders have come out and said a lot of the locations on this are wrong or not correct, and there's one specifically we're going to talk about, but that's why when we talk about these properties or originals, we're not going to specify where they are because it doesn't really matter right
Well,
now.
locations matter to me.
Yeah.
I mean, we can always speculate about where things are going to fit, in our opinion. We
I've
have
always
Yeah.
thought that was kind of a big part of the spec maps, is kind of like
Yeah.
the locations of where
I
these
mean,
are.
I agree. I agree for sure, and I would love to like we can talk about where they are on the map. Just according to Horror Night Nightmares, it's probably not worth it because probably a lot of them are wrong.
Yeah.
So for what
Fair
that's
enough.
Well,
worth,
they didn't say a lot of them are wrong, but they said don't focus on them because I guess that means that a lot of everything's gonna shift.
looks like
like things usually
that
do.
would currently have this in Downstage 24. It looks like.
Yeah, that was
Sure.
Chupa, right?
It's not Chupa.
Choppy.
Jonathan. Thank you.
And do we want to move
Yeah,
on and
let's
talk
do it.
about the house that's sharing the soundstage?
Yeah, it's definitely two very obvious things in this picture. That's for sure. I see a
Yeah.
dragon and a castle. And original
And it's
asterisk.
Does this mean Dawn
Yes.
FM?
So the thing is, dragons rise at dawn,
Jesus fucking Christ.
and I'll work on castle.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, you'll get back to me on Castle.
Fucking magic is what it stands for. It's like a magic castle.
Puff the Magic Dragon.
Oh.
Drugs the weekend. I got there faster than you did.
drugs the weekend.
I mean, am I fucking wrong?
I love that
Like-
progression. So drugs, and then straight
All
to
right.
weekend, and you're
I'm
not
It's a
sorry.
dragon.
either.
It's
We
a
all
dragon in a
walked.
castle and an original. What do we think?
Dragons. Dragon
Yeah.
tales, dragon tales.
I know we've talked about this on the last episode. I know it's been, and I think even an episode before, Dragons has
Mhm.
been a heavily rumored original going on, and I mean, I think it can work great, especially as this symbol implies. If the big castle in it,
Hell yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Big castle means big sets.
oh yeah,
I like big sets, and I
You know what
cannot
they
lie.
say? Big sets. I'll
Yep.
also finish that later.
Big sound stage, big sets,
Yeah.
right?
Big
I
socks.
guess. I think it'd be cool. Also, puppets? Question mark?
Oh,
there
hell
has to
yeah.
be, right?
Big
Right?
ass dragon puppets.
The big giant ass puppets.
I do love it, and not mind flayer puppet. I want like a like a good puppet.
I mean, that was the best thing of that house, but
That's not saying much.
that is a
it
fair
won me over.
sentence.
like I was like,
Which one of his little arms won you over, Mike?
it was big.
Well, it's
No.
not the size that matters.
Mike's a size queen, is what I'm hearing.
When it comes to the puppets, unless it's Clownzilla.
Clownzilla was an inflatable.
That's
It was
just-
so
was
good.
good.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. It was better than the
just
Sandworm.
wasn't a
Moving
real
on.
puppet.
This house is also located where Dead Man's Pier was for people
Ooh.
who want a good reference, and hopefully that means that they know the legacy. I mean, I'm sure it doesn't matter, but we can just speculate. They know the legacy Dead Man's Pier has, and that is that it was probably the most beautiful house set wise to ever have existed at Halloween Horror Nights. So maybe maybe that's why there's a possibility they lean heavily on the sets in this one. I mean, I would hope so. If there's a castle element to it, I think something like that could look really good in a soundstage, like it has before with Scary Tales.
Oh, my baby. Yeah, that'd be great. Unless it's the same castle.
That wouldn't work. Actually.
I'll call a bitch out the
we've
minute I
seen
see it.
happen before.
We have. Mm-hmm.
That last room
see it-
of Coven, literally.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
You just see a scare actor just like like have a little like Party City Dragon costume on and fly around like on the facade.
At that point, they have like little dog dragon costumes. We should just get pets and have them dress up. And it's not a house; it's just like a cuddle party with
Oh
dragons.
no, that would be straight up adorable. I would have to.
That'd be the daytime attraction.
My kids would love that.
I would love that. I
Just-
want to cuddle with some dogs.
Just go around and just get to like some dog, like walk through and just dogs are just like there.
It's just a heavily themed dog park.
But how many people would touch this characters? They would literally like you couldn't stop them. You couldn't stop
Oh
people
no,
to touch
No.
I would live there.
them.
Take your kids through and like is that like a burnt body cut in half? No, don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it.
No,
Look
no,
at the cute
they'll
puppy.
tarp it like they do to the scare zones.
You have to tarp the entire house.
No blood.
Exactly.
Just look at this cute puppy in a dragon costume.
I love how we're supposed to talk about the house and we are not talking about the house at this point.
I don't know. We've been talking about dragons for like 3 weeks. Like
That's fair.
Yeah.
Is this already old news? This is how
Kind of.
fast this season is moving with news and speculation.
Yeah.
Is 3 week old in April, May is old news.
There's a lot of stuff on this map that we have
Yeah.
discussed in detail before.
Quite a few, actually.
yeah.
But
Which, well, this next one we won't get to because it's going over to currently Fast and Furious, and that is Top Secret. Not labeled an original, however.
Like the popcorn? Pop secret?
Yes, Pop Secret.
Sponsored by this spec map is sponsored by Pop Secret.
I'm Orville Squad, but whatever.
Wow.
so where is news related to this one? There is news related to this one. And basically, Legacy has stated that he believes that this top secret IP, which I must clarify, Legacy obviously did not make this map. Horror Night Nightmares made this map. So whatever Legacy could be saying on behalf of the map could just not be true. This is all speculation. So just take that with a grain of salt. We're just repeating the speculation that's been going around. But he basically said that the top secret IP is Stranger Things.
Wah, wah, wah.
They're not putting Stranger Things in Fast and Furious.
Oh no.
No, but we've already got the clarification, like that.
I
None
know.
of it. None of the locations matter
I know,
on
but
this
like,
particular map, which is, from my understanding, locations definitely used to matter on the maps. And not this one.
Actually, funny we're talking about that because Legacy and Alicia Stella is another insider, like just Universal Studios inside. She knows a lot of stuff about Universal and HHN and all that stuff. They've both said together that they believe that, or in separate scenarios, but they both said the same thing, that they believe Chucky's going into Fast and Furious, and not Top Secret, aka possibly Stranger Things. So
I told y'all seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah, it
divided.
makes perfect sense.
I'm just saying.
I think that location is perfect for Chucky because Chucky doesn't need huge sets. It also probably like you don't need to put that in a sprung tin either because you can save the sprung tin for the originals that are going to be really up in your face and scary. So I think a Fast and Furious location for Chucky is perfect.
Yeah.
Would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, that has like a good queue for like a really long, like, because I don't remember Blumhouse, like the waits being like pretty long, and I feel like that queue like really holds like a decent like 90-minute 2-hour long line. So putting like a pretty big IP in there always makes sense just based on what they did last year.
Mm.
They're gonna put the Chucky puppet from 28. He's gonna just be in the queue and just riffing on people. Hey, where you from? Just doing that the whole
I'm
time.
sorry. No, I'm sorry.
You married him? Oh.
So there's something. So a theory Legacy has on why this is called top secret, why Stranger Things would be top secret, is that there was, and this is in quotes, so this is what he said on the Inside Universal forums. There was confusion about rights circulating the Stranger Things discussion, which made people think that the rights weren't secured. Because of that, some folks, I'm sure he's talking about Horror Night Nightmares, are still skittish about the threat of losing the rights. The rights issue was specifically for a song that had to be separately negotiated. Those music rights weren't impacting the availability of Stranger Things itself, which was, turns out, always in the plan.
Makes sense. Makes
Hmm.
sense. The fact that there were two iconic songs featured in Stranger Things season
But it's
4.
Metallica, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
We all know it's
I mean,
Metallica.
yeah.
Okay.
It's
I don't
a-
think Kate Bush is really holding on
No.
to the integrity of running up that.
She's done running up that hill.
Yeah.
She's tired.
And as Metallica has literally been rumored and discussed how
Yeah.
unlikely, because they hold their music close and don't like to
Mhm.
let it get used, really,
Yeah.
would make a lot of sense.
Mhm.
But one song would not make them not do Stranger Things. Like
no.
they could just do generic rock music at that point. People would be like, "Oh, what the fuck?" But then they would play Running Up That Hill and nobody would care
Exactly.
anymore. Like, so it's fine.
Eddie Munson just jamming
hope we
out to
get that.
Running Up That Hill instead.
Speaking of Eddie Munson, I would just like to talk about the conversation that's been going on online
Yes,
today
go.
about the scare actors, and we've talked about this before, but like I want to say it on the podcast. They don't get your hopes up that Eddie's gonna be like face to face with you in this house if we do get it. They're gonna put that motherfucker so high up on a platform because people are gonna harass and assault these people, and I feel so bad for the scare actors.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it would almost definitely happen if they left it open for it.
Yeah, like it's not gonna be like Billy or Steve where they like ran out in volume 1. Like he's gonna be up, or he's gonna be a mannequin, and I really hope he's not. Like I don't want a Stranger Things volume 2 issue with 11 and Hopper.
So yeah, if you were thinking, hey, I might get a meet and greet with Eddie Munson, it's not Eddie Munson. Leave the scare actor alone.
Right.
Please,
You
that
know how
guy's
many
getting
photo ops
paid.
that they would try to do, like people would try to pose with, pull up their camera right in the middle
Oh
of that
my
scene.
God.
Literally,
It would be horrible.
these guys are not getting paid enough to deal with you guys. So
But yeah, I like the
Yeah.
idea of let's just keep Eddie away, up high, out of reach.
just keep him safe. You know what? We could just keep walking past the
Just let 'em
trailer.
jam out up there.
Just keep playing guitar, Eddie. You're doing
Yes.
great.
So I know me, Duff, and Mike were on the last episode. We sort of talked about the potential rumor that popped up about Stranger Things.
Mhm.
You weren't on that one, Jess. So like, what are your thoughts of this property coming to the event?
I mean, I know a couple months ago I was like, we're never getting Stranger Things 4.
Mhm.
But like that was because at that time it really did not seem possible. I think anything's possible because money talks, and this is always a business. Like at the end of the day, Universal's in it for money and how they're going to make money, and this on the event makes a shit ton of money.
Mhm.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm fine with it because I've always said money makes better events in the future and better theme parks, and I'm always down for that. But also, I really liked season 4, so,
So good. It was so good.
I'm excited. I just hope it's not like the last Stranger Things where they kind of like did a lot of stuff that I feel like didn't matter and they didn't do really well, and then they just rushed season 3
Mhm.
at the end.
Yeah.
So one season.
This is
Yeah.
one where I think you really just have to focus all your energy on season 4 fully. Like, don't waste a
Mhm.
single scene transitioning us into the season.
No,
Season 4,
don't do what they
off-
did last time. Yeah,
off rip, and go through it.
Yeah.
Because season 4 has a lot to get through. A lot.
It
there should be like a scene. I want an episode per room. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want them to go that. What? How many episodes were in season 4?
I don't
can't
remember.
It was broken up into 2 parts, so it was a lot.
Oh yeah, there
And
was
some
a
of those
lot.
episodes
Fuck.
were like movie length.
Yeah.
They were like,
So then,
Yeah.
okay, we can skip a couple things, but like don't give me any of that bullshit where it was the final scene of volume 1 was the first scene of volume 2. You've wasted a whole room.
We're
now.
already at the point where they probably can't fit all season 4. Like you said, it's too much.
Yeah. I don't expect us to go to like Surfer Boy Pizza, maybe. We might do where like 11's like in the thing, but like I don't think we will. I think we'll just get to where we need to
Mhm.
get to. We'll
Yeah.
definitely go to like the lab. We'll definitely be in the Upside Down. We'll see Vecna. We'll see
Creel
him
House
as
has to
one.
be
We'll
a
see all
big
that shit.
moment.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna see a lot of shit if this is coming, and like I can't wait to see the makeup if it is because I feel like Vecna's gonna look so
Oof.
fucking good.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I
Yeah.
like that it's really only one main villain too. Like I know we're gonna get
Mm-hmm.
some like scares from like the side antagonists, like the kids who are like the cult kids, like who are like
Mm-hmm.
like, but I think we get one main villain, which is Vecna, and then we have some, I'm sure some side scares here or there, but I think for the most part it's going to be mostly focused on Vecna scares, which is I think
Yeah.
going to help out with getting the story across here.
And the kids can I feel like at this point they can actually scare us. There's not that whole the kids can't be the jump scares in the house.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're old enough and the show is dark enough that like we're gonna see we might see like Max like all fucked up like that
Oh,
and shit
yeah.
like
Oh
that,
yeah.
and
Please.
Chrissy like oh
Oh
my
yeah,
god, okay.
definitely. Yeah, I mean that
I-
this year lends itself well to having like humans be the scares,
yeah,
with the kids and the antagonist kids, being a main plot point of the season. I think we're gonna get a lot of those, like Jock scaring us
Mhm.
with a baseball bat or whatever.
yeah, there is a cool potential for the portal to the Upside Down in the trailer to be like a really fucking badass like set,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing like technology like that excites me.
I could totally see us kind of like going through the roof of the trailer and then
Yeah,
out into the Upside Down, you know?
that's gonna be so
Mm-hmm.
fucking cool if that happens. Or like walking by and it's like them with like the mattress trying to catch
Mhm.
them coming back. Oh, it's gonna be okay. I'm actually very excited.
It's
Like
gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
this, yeah. But this has to be in a soundstage, right?
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
This is. I would love this to be like in the Hell Block one, like right in the front. The line's already gonna be fucking long. You might as well hold them there.
Yep.
Well, we
I mean, it makes sense. Put it right there. Put it right there in.
Yeah, people won't get lost at that point. There won't be anybody complaining that they couldn't find Stranger Things.
based off something we'll talk about later, I think we may think that's a possibility. So we'll get to that,
Oh.
right?
Okay.
All right, so let's move on. Walking through the unknown scare zone in San Francisco, walking past
Okay.
nightmare fuel.
Mm.
Going right to the entrance for Sprung Tent 2.
Even more fire.
Now with singing. Now with vocalists.
Now with Chucky doing
Now with
fumbles.
5'2" acrobatic vocalists
Wake me
on
up,
stilts.
wake me up
now
inside.
with backflip Chuckies. Nightmare fuel.
All right.
Ah.
Entrance of Sprung Tent 2. Last year would have been Bugs Eaten Alive. We have a lovely original clip art logo again that appears to be a tent with smoke or dust or something behind the tent.
My immature brain said the tent farted.
Or the tent farted.
the first time I looked at it, that's what I said.
I guess the Pumpkin Lord's been there.
Oh shit.
Oh my god.
Jesus. He's in the circus business now.
So, we should probably last episode we've talked about the heavily speculated rumor that there was going to be an Oddfellow or circus or clown, something related to all of that stuff this year, like a house. And Legacy has been using the word odd a lot recently in discords and such like that. And someone commented on Discord and basically said, "Hey, is there a possibility we're getting an Oddfellow house?" And Legacy said, "Yes. Why do you like something along the lines of like, why did you think that's why I've been using odd, all this time." It was absolutely intentional. He was absolutely referring to Oddfellow. So I think we can safely say that this is at least currently rumored the Oddfellow house.
Mm-hmm.
Ew, yeah. I'm excited.
I mean, it sounds really
excited for
cool,
it.
right? I mean, we talked about this quite a bit last week and even the week before, but we're getting like backstory of backstory for like HHN lore at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're getting
No,
like a
it's very exciting.
retcon. Like they're definitely gonna like retcon like um some of the stuff, I'm sure. But like it's gonna be
And
great.
do we want to bring up anything from the video yet? Or are we just going to fully hold off? Because it does tie directly into this potentially.
Let's wait.
Okay,
Let's
all
wait.
right,
That'll be
all
our
right.
like main segment.
Sounds
But
good.
we'll get to it.
Just when we get to that video, keep this house in the back of your mind, basically. But yeah, I know we've talked about it a bunch. I think this is a great concept, and I'm excited to. I'm excited to see it. I think it's a really fun idea.
Hmm. Yeah, I love HHN history, so anytime we can get back into lore, that's my jam.
Mm-hmm. Especially new lore, because I feel like a lot of it has been
Mm-hmm.
more recently has been more sequels and stuff like that, and non-canon lore. When we're talking about
Yeah.
like icons captured, so like this is actually like diving pretty deep into some HHN lore that honestly we know nothing about really at the moment. This is something that does need to be explored if we're to
Yeah.
understand it at all. So
Yeah.
Ooh, we could do, okay. We could do, I think I already have this done, but we could do a Jack, like, if this happens, like how we're doing that one thing that we keep laying off, but we could do like a Jack dissection with like his backstory only if we do get this announced, because this obviously plays into that a lot.
Definitely.
But
like his most important moment ever when he was a guest on HHN 365.
oh,
Yes. Yes, of all the
True.
moments.
That's the
I
one.
forgot.
I'm, I mean, to be fair, Jack took my shitty ass jokes and riffed on them perfectly.
Jack's great.
Oh, Jack was a good sport for sure.
Oh boy, oh boy.
All right, moving
So,
on.
I don't know
yeah.
if Oddfellow will be as good of a sport if I get to interview
No,
him.
no, probably not. He seems like he's probably cranky.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
get out of here with your long list of prepared jokes to ask me about my relationship with Eddie.
All right, at the entrance of what appears to be Sprung Tent 2, we have Devil, like just a little like circle, eyes, angry, horns, like as basic Devil as you can possibly get.
He's very upset.
He's an angry little devil.
Twisted
We
metal.
obviously.
This is a twisted. This is clearly a twisted metal.
It looks like the little purple devil emoji on iPhone, but not purple. It's just black and white. But it looks like that one specifically.
Yeah, it does.
Oh
Little
yeah,
purple
like the
devil.
one where like you're trying to be like cheeky, like the cheeky
Yeah.
devil.
I call it the Rhea Ripley devil. Yeah.
Of course you do.
I mean, obviously,
What?
obviously, this means his house is based on the Emoji Movie. You know.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Or the thing we've already talked about also for multiple weeks.
No, I think the Emoji
definitely
Movie is more
Emoji
likely.
Movie.
All right. well,
Peaches,
Peaches, peaches.
peaches, peach.
No, but yeah, the rumored Crossroads, Devil went down to Georgia, Robert Johnson,
Yep.
all the
It's gonna
above,
be-
and or one.
Yeah, we've talked about that house plenty. We gave, I mean, we had almost like a whole segment on it a
Mhm.
couple episodes ago. So yeah, I'm excited for it. It's still my most anticipated original as of now, because I think the concept is so cool. It's so
Mhm.
out there, and if they can pull it off, it's gonna be really a really, I don't know, like a really storytelling driven house, and I love that type of stuff.
I'm interested to see how they pull off the character design for like the scares, right? The scary
Mhm.
elements of the characters, because when's the last time we got a really demonic house, right? So I think when we at least like sell his soul to the devil, I think we're gonna see something else. I don't think we're gonna see straight up devil-ish like
Yeah.
Like straight devil yeah.
imagery.
I mean,
Yeah, they're gonna come up with some sort of other creature. I think that they're gonna put into the story
Mm.
that somehow to give us scares. That's the only thing about this house is like what is going to be the scary element. They're going to have to recreate the story somehow to add some jump scares, right?
Mhm.
So what are they going to do? What is it be the creature development design? I'm really interested to see what it looks like, but I just can't quite picture it
Hmm.
um, personally.
I will say, if you go back to the Fallen, for as much as we knock it for basically them avoiding the whole angels versus
Mhm.
demons thing, they did only take out the angel part. All the demons and the demonic side of
That's
it
valid.
stayed.
They all had horns
Yeah.
and shit. Yeah, you're right.
So I think as long as they're fully like devil bad and don't fight the good of the religion, I guess, I think they're more okay with it.
I mean, we're
Yeah.
gonna how many like anti-devil TikTokers are we gonna have to deal with this year, though? Like,
Oh God,
because
we got
last
away
year
from him last year.
there wasn't even really any satanic imagery at all, and we had like 10 videos of that crap
Like,
we had to
could you
deal with
could
last
go
year.
through the house? The whole point is the devil is bad. I like
Hmm.
it's kind of it,
I thought it was about his vacation to
right?
Georgia.
I snuck in here to take the video. I didn't pay. I swear. I swear. Okay,
I
maybe.
think it's gonna be great though.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
excited since we first talked about it, and I'm probably only more excited
Yeah,
at this point. So,
Oh, it's gonna be great. It's
yeah.
probably most
mm,
anticipated original for me right now.
right now, I'd agree with that. Yes.
Oddfellow is my most, but I'm too nervous to get my hopes up for anything at
Yeah,
this point. To
fair.
be honest.
I just don't want to be just like scary clowns.
Oh, I don't know if it'll be that.
I want some backstory. I want some, you know, not just like scary clowns.
And all right, as we move on, I know, don't pay attention to the entry locations or the locations in general, but because these next two are going to be very different this year, regardless, let's talk about where it is. So we have the new Parade Warehouse with Naughty Dog, The Last of Us, of course, meaning the video game version. And the entrance is the former entrance to Sprung 10-1. So just to the right
Right.
of where we have like the devil. So that would be very different entrance for us to get back to a parade warehouse. Although in past years they have done
Yeah.
something pretty similar to what we're going to talk about with these
Mhm.
two, but it hasn't happened recently.
It's a long ass walk backstage.
It's gonna be well. The other choice is the Simpson Gate, which is not much farther away than that. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Either way, it's gonna be a long ass walk.
Hmm.
I mean, it's
But
always
also,
been one, but
this is the first time that we're getting the Naughty Dog like attached to this, right? On any of the spec. I mean, we've talked about it that it's the
I
game,
believe
but
Legacy has alluded to it. Like
yeah, no, people have talked about it, but like the first time on the map that they're
Yes,
saying the
yes,
game.
correct.
yes, it
Okay,
was not
yeah,
on the first map. It's just
yeah.
The Last of Us. They have
Um,
clarified on this map to add Naughty Dog, which goes along with what we've already been told
Hmm.
by other
Mhm.
insiders.
Oh,
I feel like
go ahead.
what? I just feel like that I haven't heard a lot of negative in response to that. So I don't think there's any question anymore. Like it doesn't matter if it's the game or the show at this point. The show is going to bring people in, but the game is what people like have been talking about for 10 years or
Yeah,
whatever.
at the end of the day, the name's all you need when you're trying
Yeah,
to ride
I
the
think
back of the show.
I think they're making it like I know we have not a lot to talk about, so as a community, we like to like nitpick things. I feel like we're making a really bigger deal than is it the game or is it the movie? It doesn't. At the end of the day, it really does not matter. Like our experience is going to be exactly the same as a house, whether they secure the HBO rights versus they secure the game rights. It's not going to change because we're not going to get Pedro Pascal to like to physically be there, right? Like
Or
No,
would
they're
so
they?
wheeling him in right now.
He's just trapped in there. They got him locked up,
like
Yeah.
waiting to go.
so so like I really don't, and obviously they're going to focus more on the creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we got the HBO rights or not, there would be way more creatures in the house. So it really, I feel like this is just a more of a thing. Like I think in execution, it is not going to matter too much whether they secured the HBO rights versus the game rights. It's not going to affect the execution of what we would receive.
I would argue for the exact reasons you brought up, it would change the experience, mainly because you're not getting Pedro Pascal's uh, likeness rights cheap, right? So either you're paying a lot of money or you're not getting it, and you're not having a main character suddenly at that point very visible in the house. If you do the game, suddenly that changes. You got whoever you want.
I mean, do you think they secured the likeness rights for every single one of those Stranger Things kids? Like, I don't think
It's
that
possible,
they
yeah. I mean, usually
really.
Horror Nights usually doesn't mess around with that, at least anymore. It's a risky game
So
not
for
to.
every IP, they're paying Jack Nicholson likeness rights for like
For Jack Nicholson, I'd almost assume they had to. Yes.
really.
Yes.
I would agree with that. I believe, I don't know for sure, to be honest, but I know that people have said that the issue that we didn't see really Adam or Barbara or fucking, why can't I think of the Delia, God, in Beetlejuice was because all three of those actors' rights are just so expensive,
Oh really?
or they don't give him out. Like Alec Baldwin won't give out his likeness for shit
Mhm.
like that.
And it
So
hurt the house tremendously.
that's like a huge rumor. I don't know. I have not heard anything confirmed or denied, but like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people have said that. So it might just
Yeah.
be based on like the actor.
Well, then it gets way cheaper if you secure the game rights, and because then
Mhm.
you don't have to pay
Exactly.
likeness rates to any of
They-
them.
And guarantee you
They
got
might be
'em.
able to like bundle them. You know what I mean? Like in with the show rights. Like they probably have learned going forward to be like, oh, if we want that, we want this included in it.
I always
But it
figured
also
that's what they
raises the
did.
price.
That it just kind of when you bought the rights to use IP property, that the likeness rights, like when you're an actor in, when you sign a contract to do this, that your likeness
Mhm.
is going to be able to be sold when they do, you know, those types, when they do merchandise or when they do
Hmm.
other sorts of things, that's kind of already all kind of bundled into
I
whatever
think
compensation they got for the movie.
in a lot of
But
cases that is what happens probably. But I think if you're a bigger actor, you're working on a different deal where like, hey, if you want to use my likeness later down the road, more money. I think
Hmm.
gotcha.
maybe
So they
Pedro
sell their
Pascal's
likeness rights.
probably in that range where it's probably being worked out separately, and he has his individual likeness. And I think like the
Fair
Stranger Thing
enough.
kids, probably at that point, they didn't. That probably was bundled in. They might now. I'm not sure, or they might have signed on permanently. Who knows? But at that time, they didn't have any power to keep their likeness. That probably all came with the IP.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why we're talking about like the bigger stars who are the issue. And if you go to Beetlejuice, you can see that's exactly who was missing in a lot of cases.
Hmm.
But anyways, the
Cool.
other thing I was going to say about this is also the infected designs and the creatures you see is quite a bit different in the game than in the series, and adds a bit more color and life a bit because they glow actually in a lot of cases, and there's just it's different aesthetics going on. So there is the chance again that they just kind of keep this as close as to the series as they can while using the game stuff and not go full game. But I don't know. It does open it up to be very different than what we saw in the series.
See, that's the inside baseball stuff that I think matters to us, but it's not going to matter to the casual thing. It's like no one's gonna it's gonna be the nerd who's gonna be like, in the game they glow and they seemed pretty glowy in the house versus the show. Like they don't glow as much. Like I feel like
No,
that's
but
the
I mean, if you're
stuff
someone who like
that's
loves the show and you see that, like there's big fans of the show. They've never played the game and they see the game versions. They're gonna be like, that looked a little off. That's different. I don't think they'll care. It'll still be cool, right? I don't think it's
Yeah.
gonna, but I think it does. It changes the experience you get.
I mean, Universal Creative always kind of takes their spin first, like for creative factors and for cost factors. and for practical factors, they always take a little bit of their own take on any of this stuff. So, like, I mean,
I
to
mean,
take it all with a grain
Demogorgons
of
were
salt.
definitely Demogorgons. There was no spin that was done by them at all.
I think stuff probably has to get approved,
Yeah.
like certain things, but like,
But I
yeah.
also, again, if going that angle, I think what you're saying is probably more likely with the game than it would have been with the series.
Mm-hmm.
I think with the
Yeah.
game, they probably can kind of take it not however they want, but they get a little more leeway. Where I think with the series, maybe they wouldn't have, and they would have like, nope, has to look exactly what you saw on the screen, exactly. So,
I know American Werewolf in London, like historically, that one in particular, they did have to like take the werewolf designs back to be like, no, we could pull this off. I promise. I promise.
Mhm.
And then that's how they were able to get kind of the approval to do that, is because they were blown away by the designs that they came up with. So that one in particular is when I can think of one idea where they really did have to like get approval for the character to design, like historically, for sure. But I'm sure it probably happens more often than just that time.
yeah, I mean, again, we're talking probably the bigger properties, Stranger Things, stuff like that. But anyways, it is rumored, as it has been, to be the game of Last of Us and not the series. So, and again, Last of Us as a name will carry it regardless. So the series helps no matter what. And then moving on down to what should be the old Parade Warehouse, we have this entrance. Is this at ET?
Looks like it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
that's a weird ass entrance though.
I mean, it is a path we technically already use as an exit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, where are we going to exit from all of these? The Esoteric Gate? Because that just sounds like a
Esoteric
shit
or
show.
Simpsons, maybe. Also sounds like a
And
shit show.
currently, right now, like it's like cluster F at ETA, where
Yes.
you have to like literally like go through like some just little like entrance. Here we go. It's like just a little makeshift entrance that like takes you through. Um, and like now the shop's not even open, right? The ET
Yeah.
shop, right?
I mean, I'd assume that part might be a little bit better by the time we get to HHN, but I don't know how much land they'll be able to open up outside of that, you know? So it should
I don't know,
probably
man.
still
Like
be a
usually
mess.
construction projects for Universal take forever. Like I think it's gonna be like 2 years before we even like what I mean, we don't even have rumors what's going in there, but like it's gonna be a while.
Oh yeah, but I mean, for like they could potentially just flatten out some space so they could push back the walls for a bit, you know, if there's nothing going on in that exact area.
We'll see, absolutely. But yeah, so what's on the map there?
Universal Monsters Paris.
Which
Now, this is a bit different
Woo!
from when we last saw it, because the last time it was on this map, it was Universal Monsters Phantom / Dracula. So now, with it just saying Paris, do we think maybe other characters will be featured? Do we think some characters will not be featured at all?
Quasimodo.
Mhm.
Dracula not being featured,
so.
please.
Fuck
Yes.
that. Man.
Get that fanged fuck out of here.
Oh, don't get Jonathan started.
Get so mad. Get so mad that someone will end up bashing my head on a table.
I don't care what monsters are in this. The sets are going to be beautiful.
It's gonna be amazing.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna. I don't know what can beat like walking it. Well, besides Dead Man's Pier, but walking into the Legends facade last year, like I feel like we're gonna get the same vibe from this. I hope.
I would hope
And
so, yeah.
I assume we're gonna see Phantom, of course, and I assume Quasimodo and whoever else they can kind of like shoehorn in there. Somehow
Dracula.
say they're in. Shut up. Somehow say they're in Paris. I love.
Oh, go ahead, Jess. Sorry.
No, I love me some backseat monsters. As I keep saying.
Me too. With a year of like a ton of huge IPs, I still think by the time we get to talking about our hype list, I think this is going to be my top IP house. Like I am this excited. I mean, we know that they can do Universal Monsters house brilliantly, and if we're gonna get a Phantom, Hunchback, Invisible Man, some of these rumors that we're getting um, out of a Paris house, like, oh, this is going to be so good. This is going to be so good.
Mhm.
I don't get excited about houses anymore after what happened with Spirits of the Coven, but this one I can't not get excited. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I feel like anytime we see Universal monsters pop up as speculation any year now, it's automatically going to be somewhere up in our higher in our hype list, right?
This is my number one.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think it probably will be.
I agree with you, Mike.
All right. What else we got?
So I guess now we're kind of coming around. We'll cut through Central Park, the first named scare zone that we're going to talk about, and that's Holidays with a Z. Very Hollywood.
Absolutely Hollywood.
Toxic tunnel.
Is that Hollywood?
Z's?
Yeah.
Oh,
Z's. Scream Queens.
I don't know. That looks like it's like
And-
Central. Doesn't
no,
that look
no,
like
no,
Central
no,
Park?
no.
Oh no, no,
HHN
no,
Hollywood with the Z.
Oh, I with you meant the
No,
location.
it's in Central Park.
Look,
no, no, no.
yeah, it's
The way
Central
that they like name things in Hollywood is very like
yeah.
add a Z on it.
I'm sorry. I
Something
thought we
like
were
that.
talking about Scare Zone location.
No, that's a totally
No, just-
valid thing to
Making
think.
fun of Hollywood as we tend to.
Yeah.
So this being holidays, I mean, this is obviously referring with the Z. It's obviously referring to Hollywood's house that they had, and we might talk about a little bit later. I don't know. Holidays in Hell, which it's sort of it's a similar concept of Blood and Guts, where you are going through, not executed nearly the same way at all, but where you're going through different holidays and they're all scary. Some crazy stuff happens, and it's basically a scary holiday type house. So while I really don't think Orlando would ever take anything from Hollywood, whether it be a house, a scare zone, anything, I don't think they take anything from Hollywood. I wouldn't be mad if Orlando did their own original scary holiday zone. I think that would be really
Mhm.
cool, especially in Central Park. You can do some
Mhm.
really cool things with like maybe Christmas lights on the trees in some places and pumpkins in others. Sort of like play with the separate, the different holidays all sort of mashed together in one single area.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's also a very popular character who has dealt with holidays in Orlando that
Mhm.
people have been clamoring to return.
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. I don't
Yeah.
get excited for speculation about scare zones up until like maybe like June or July,
Mhm.
just because
Mhm.
I think historically the rumors about scare zones tend to change quickly. They don't tend to be accurate. For whatever reason, leaks about scare zones usually just like don't come out the same way that houses do. Correct?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
been years in the past where we're at a point where there's not been a single scare zone even listed, let alone correct. And a lot of times we don't have full clarity till if we're lucky, July on scare zones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes they're just never leaked. Like the scare zones just come out.
And a
and
lot of
just
them
like,
they're just
oh, okay,
developed
that's
later
you
too.
know.
There's nothing to see or talk about. They're just not even developed and produced yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier to keep those on the DL for whatever reason.
Yeah. I just feel like I know that the locations don't matter. I feel like holidays would lend itself really well to the Hollywood location in the park. Like
I can
what
see that
Mike
too.
thought. Like stages. I feel like Central Park is not really like a stage kind of an area zone.
No.
And I feel like they could do kind of like Eddie's zone, lights camera action from 30. Like they could do stages like that for each holiday and then have like people roaming the streets as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree, Jess. I don't think
Yeah.
Central Park fits at all. Like when thinking about holidays, like each little section is going to be a different
Mhm.
holiday where you're going to have like clusters of
Mhm.
different characters. Central Park just doesn't fit for that. I think we
Yeah.
could see like San Francisco, Hollywood would be the big one. Even basically any of the other locations except maybe Avenue of the Stars would work for that, except Central Park. It's just too much of a just a narrow pathway where you're not going to be able to have like roaming horde type of characters where like each bunch of leprechauns in a section and a bunch of you know
Yeah.
trees, Arbor Day trees and stuff like that. Like I don't know.
I think it depends on what way they want to approach this scare zone, right? Because there is a way where they're just like, we want clear divisions on where the holidays are, like the stages, and we'll have one for Christmas, one for Halloween, one for St. Patrick's Day, this is that. Or there's a scenario where they're all literally meshed in one big clump, um, to make this weird, like not weird, but just like weird world where all the holidays are together, and they're all meshed together. And that's kind of like, I do like the concept of throwing it in Hollywood and doing stages, but I don't really want stages anymore. I like, especially in Hollywood, I think Graveyard, I mean, Graveyard had one stage, but I think the fact that it didn't have stages made that zone so unique. It made it memorable. It made it just like it made it one of my favorites scare zones of all time. Atmospheric. For something like this, I don't know if I want. I don't know like what way they'll end up doing it. I don't know if I want stages. I think I kind of just want them all together and do like a weird, mashup of Halloween of holiday stuff. And I like the idea of taking the different items from all the holidays and sticking them on the trees, sort of mashed together. Maybe like in a weird mismatch where all the trees are separated, so you can use the trees, which that can bring light and color, like the jack-o'-lanterns, the Christmas lights, the whatever else you want to have, while also having a bunch of characters in the zone, completely meshed together, just scaring you. I think that is, like, if they were going to do the holiday concept, that's a location I would want it to be in.
I disagree, but I appreciate that take.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
respectfully disagree. I think Blake Braswell is at his best when he can tell a story and
I don't
have
think he works here anymore.
Focus on one thing. Back to what I said before.
Oh, does he not
Pick
work there?
something.
Blake left
No.
after 30, I believe.
I
Oh,
believe
wow.
so, yeah.
Okay.
But again, if they pick one
One
thing
thing.
and they hyper fixate on it, they're really fucking good. It's when, and Jonathan, I love that that's what you want to see. Respectfully, no, thank you.
No, that's fine.
Have you watched Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah, it's good.
You learn that holidays don't belong with other holidays. Then,
But that's
right?
why it'd be horror.
No,
because they
it would
are.
be horrible.
All right, we're gonna stop talking about this scare zone. That's probably not coming.
And also,
Yeah.
you can't just add a Z to something and make it hip, John Murdy.
Oh yeah.
All right, moving on.
We don't have to go far because there is a labeled just outside of Central Park show. That's all it says. Show. So two options. This exact spot is where the Lagoon Show typically enters. It is also where there has been a stage in the past for shows, like The Carnage Returns, Redacted, that kind of stuff. So it could be saying two things here.
So I have news regarding shows, and it directly involves this. The first one is that Alicia Stella believes on Discord. She said that she believes that there won't be a Lagoon show this year. I'm assuming that has to do with all the construction on Lagoon. There are no more anything on the water itself. Everything has been taken out. So there's a chance that the construction just takes a while on that, or whatever show they're planning to do, and there's just no Lagoon this year. Actually, yeah. So that involves this specific show. So that's the piece of news I'll talk about. And when we talk about another show, no, this works because this also can involve a show that potentially could be here. So the half MIB tent we have seen in the MIB tent location, it's a half, it's not a whole, and we've been sort of speculating what that space could be for, what they're doing with it. Basically, she believes that MIB tent actually will be a backstage area for a nearby show. So that could either be just Nightmare Fuel or whatever else they decide to put in that location, or maybe something over here. So So yeah, that's the
What
show
a
news.
far walk to
Hmm.
backstage.
It is a far walk. 'Cause
I'm not
as
sure
I was
Nightmare
talking,
feel.
I'm like, that probably doesn't make any sense, but it's still news. So
Do you think that maybe because like obviously the Fear Factor stage, like I can't imagine the backstage area is very big, like the dressing rooms and stuff like that, because there's not a big cast for that show, or there wasn't. And
Mhm.
Nightmare Fuel had a lot of fucking people in it. I know Redacted and like Bill and Ted used back there as well, but like what is the difference that we need this backstage area now for this show in particular?
Great question. One thing I could think is potential use of space because that uh, like backstage area used to be back behind like Esoteric Gate and back between that and Simpsons. So if that's going to get used for a potential guest flow for a queue now, you can't have it
So
there.
like makeup tent,
Hmm.
backstage,
Those tents couldn't be
her.
in that location
That,
at
yeah.
that point.
We did talk about that, but also that's a really far walk.
It is, but you got to work with what you got.
Well, I mean, they'll just a lot more black hoods or whatever walks now.
but I mean, how do we feel about there potentially not being a Lagoon show this year, and what
I
replaces
mean, I
it?
love Lagoon shows, but this always felt like a possibility with the work being done to the Lagoon. So, I mean, I'm not going to be heartbroken, and I'd expect it to return eventually. So I could go a year without it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a year break if it means we get it back again in its full glory, right?
Hmm. And maybe even better. It should be at least a little more advanced than it was.
Oh yeah, I mean, we talked about it before. There's been rumors of potential drones and stuff being involved in whatever new show Universal's creating. So maybe, I mean, there's a world in the future where we get drones in addition to other things in a show, or Lagoon show or something like that.
Yeah, I don't really care about the Lagoon show. I've talked about it before. I liked Ghoulish, but that's it. I don't really care if we have one or not.
Before we move on, can I derail the show just a little bit?
Absolutely.
Blake Braswell is now the creative director at Anarchista in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
That sounds right. I believe
Oh.
I have
saw
been
that.
to Anarchista, and I don't remember there needing to be a creative director in the slightest.
They're trying to take a
but
step up,
maybe
Mike.
he has added some,
Did
Vanity
you
the
look
Ball
up his
style.
LinkedIn?
No, it's on his Twitter.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it felt like a LinkedIn
I mean,
search.
I've stalked people on LinkedIn before for sure. But no, this is creative director at Anarchista.
Good for him.
Yeah, so if you ever want to go down a mountain coaster, go visit Blake Bradwell in Gatlinburg.
How did we get here?
Oh, Blake, we'll miss you. You liked beer in Orlando City. Doesn't get much better than that.
Oh yeah,
that
but then
just
we can
you,
I still want to get on his podcast to talk about beer.
Still want to
and
get
soccer.
on his podcast.
He has a beer and soccer
does.
podcast.
Are you sure he's not just Duff?
Maybe.
In disguise?
Duff, are you
The creative director.
right? You know, like the phenomenon of like overemployed, where people take on like 2 virtual jobs. Is that what you do?
Yeah, I run it like Murdy runs Hollywood. I've never seen it, but I'd surely work on it.
Right, you're just emailing about.
Your management style is really relaxed, right?
Meeting today? No meeting today.
I'm on my
Took the day
plane
off.
to Ireland. All right. What's next?
So
When you go down the mountain coaster, this can.
Yep, we're gonna go down the mountain coaster to Hollywood, where it's an unknown scare zone. So we'll just take a right, and we see a big, massive IP that I don't think any of us believe in. Oh, that would have been funnier if it was the next IP, but it's not. That is the actually kind of long rumored and then lost, and now rumored again, Demon Slayer.
Nah.
Hello, it's me, Newsman. I got news.
Hi,
for
Oh.
you.
man.
It's Newsman.
It's like a newspaper boy.
Jesus. Okay. So he is the news here. So Legacy, we talked about, let's take a little trip back to in the past, memory lane here. A long time ago, a Demon's Legacy came out and said, "Hey, Demon Slayer is a rumor, but it's probably not. It's not true because code names exist and Universal's using code names to trick everybody. So Demon Slayer is not happening, and everyone's like, "All right, Demon Slayer is not happening. Didn't even know that was a rumor until now, but cool." And things moved on. Now we have Demon Slayer popping up on this map. So Legacy once again reiterated, "Hey guys, remember that thing I said a while ago about Demon Slayer not coming? It's still not coming. All right, goodbye." That's not exactly how he said it, but that's, uh, I mean, exact word for word, obviously. So there's that of Legacy saying no Demon Slayer, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people out there that we don't necessarily talk about everybody, but I'm sure a lot of other people is like, nah, no Demon Slayer. But then we got another comment on Discord from Mark HNN, the HNN guy, and he basically said someone asked him a question about it and said, hey, is it coming? Is this a hint to another thing? Da 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 da. And he responded, uh, that's why I said my comment about having an open mind. Don't assume it could be the IP. So, Newsman has concluded his news.
Don't assume the IP that's on the spec map. Oh, what am I supposed to assume? I don't. I don't.
I don't know how
I,
you.
I don't think I'm supposed to make assumptions. I think I'm supposed to look at it and go, "Oh, that."
Yeah, it's because it's one thing if it has a star next to it and it's a little
Mhm.
symbol, and it's like, oh, what could that symbol mean? It could be this, that. It's another if it's an IP right there.
Yeah.
But if it's the code word,
If that's even a, we don't know if that's even a thing.
I know.
I don't even want to talk
I will
about
eat
this.
my
I don't
hat
want
if
this.
if Demon Slayer comes.
No,
I will.
yeah.
I will. The first person that emails me, I will buy you tickets to Anarchista. Like
Emails.
okay, it bothers me on Twitter. Calls me out on
It's-
Twitter.
Bothers you on
It's
Twitter.
LinkedIn.
The first person who finds my LinkedIn, which I do have one. The first person who finds my LinkedIn and bothers
This
me
is a
and
fucking
sends me a
puzzle
direct
now.
message, I will buy you your ticket to Anarchista. That's how confident I am that Demon
Is it
Slayer
an all expense paid trip?
No,
Or just the
your
ticket in?
admission.
Okay. You gotta fly
Just
yourself
one
out
admission.
there.
Just one.
From what I understand, it was very expensive for what it was,
Oh.
though. So it's like a $70
Oh,
bet.
wow,
Like it's
that's-
pretty
Oh,
expensive.
no.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out, while I don't think this is coming, it's not because I don't want it to come. I know nothing about it, but that's
Yeah.
not why I feel that way. Like, it's
Yeah.
nothing is really pointing to it coming outside of it literally just being on this spec map and a few random discussions about it now elsewhere.
Yeah, I like we said, I really thought this rumor kind of just went away once it was sort of debunked. Now it's back. We know that. I mean, we know that the maps, like especially version 2, there's still usually versions to go, are never completely accurate until you get to like the ending ones. I think this is a situation where it's just something on the map that isn't happening because it's an early version of the map. I don't expect it as much as. No, I don't expect it. Like you said, Duff, I have no opinion on the property whatsoever. I know there's some people who are going, "This isn't horror. It can't happen." No, I don't. I don't care about what it is or what it isn't. I just don't think it's coming.
I mean, stranger things have happened, but it just doesn't doesn't feel doesn't boom boom.
I saw what you did there.
We got our own legacy in house. Look at that. All right, we're just gonna move on because again, we've talked about this before, and I don't really think we have anything else to add to that. So we will walk through the unknown scare zone in Production Central, over to the Music Plaza stage queue, where we have The Exorcist Believer. So the new 2023 Exorcist film coming out just before the event ends this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will say it does seem pretty likely at this point, though. So
Yeah. But it comes out like October 10th or something like that.
think it's the 13th.
Yeah, it's like early in the month, but like not
No, like
super
middle.
early in the
They'll
month.
leave you like a few
Yeah.
weeks to experience the house after having seen it.
But unless my only theory is that this movie is like so much like the original that
Oh,
like we
then it
couldn't,
won't be good for an HHN
it's
house,
just
anyways. Great.
right, or like it's so similar that like you don't need context.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a
So
fucking
then, why the
exorcism.
fuck do I want to see the movie? I'm sorry. That's a
I
different
agree,
conversation.
but that's like my argument to why maybe like they would be okay with having the house start a month and a half before the movie
Is
comes
this
out.
just gonna be like the
I
Lion
have
King of the Exorcist franchise?
Oh, it's Timon and Pumbaa walking you through a fucking exorcism.
No, I meant the remake, like the live action remake.
Oh, I thought we were talking
No,
Lion King one and a half.
no.
I'm sorry. I don't know where my
That
brain
I'd
went.
love. That'd be great.
That's what I was hoping this was like an improvement.
No. I was saying it's gonna be terrible if it's just the same thing again.
Okay, but how funny would Exorcist one and a half be? All right, moving on.
So
I-
before we move on, I do have a question. Is for anyone who has seen the trailer for Exorcist Believer,
What trailer?
does it have
Is there a
an-
trailer?
is there a trailer first of
No.
all?
Nope.
I
Nope.
don't
We
think
only
we're
got
there
it
yet.
named,
Apparently,
Okay.
like, within the past week.
Even a teaser?
Leslie
or
Odom
anything?
Yes,
Jr.'s
there's
in it.
nothing.
Nothing?
There's nothing.
So I guess this is
Or
an open-ended
did
question.
this-
Then it's not something
This
that can be
didn't this
answered.
play at some? Jonathan, answer this for me. Didn't it play at
Oh,
like
hello.
a?
CinemaCon or something happened.
So it's not
this
publicly available,
past
but
week?
some people have seen it.
Yeah, it's not publicly available. There have been some
Screenings. Of,
slight descriptions on what it is. The biggest one, if anyone, I guess if this
It's
is
a
gonna be
trailer. Go ahead.
It's a trailer. Oh, it's going to be in the trailer. It doesn't matter. There's going to be 2 possessed people. So 2 possessed girls. That's all I know from it. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that answered my question. My question was, is there going to be an iconic character like Reagan? Like an icon, the way John Murdy labels an icon. Is there going to be that type of
you mean the main character?
person? A main character that they can slap
Yes,
on
an
a poster and
icon.
people
Uh-huh.
will recognize. Yeah.
Main character.
Like, because
I think-
I feel like if you're going to do The Exorcist, you're going to want to use it for the advertisement, right? You're going to want to have it hanging up on, on the arch. You're going to need something
Mhm.
there, right? Because you're like, Reagan fits great. Does the Believer have that same
I
pull?
mean, they're definitely.
Well,
Go ahead.
I think Reagan's in it. I know the actress who plays. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong. I don't follow the Exorcist Believer too closely, but I'm pretty sure the actress who plays Reagan is in it, and this is like a sequel to the original, like a sort of like what the new Halloweens have done, where they forgot their other ones and they're saying this is the real sequel now. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing, and we're gonna see her.
Okay.
Is she
So
actually
it's-
gonna be any main character? Probably not.
So like
Yeah, so we'll
a
see.
sequel like reboot sort of a situation.
It's a direct sequel to the film, the 1973 film. I'm reading about it now.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I knew. It's a sequel to the first one.
It's the first in 3 new Exorcist films.
Why?
Oh
Why
my
do we need
God.
that?
So maybe we do get Reagan as an icon then, because that makes more sense. Where I just feel like they
Oh.
have a lot of big name. Like the event always tries to get some classic horror icons, and you have Chucky, but I think with if you're gonna have The Exorcist, you might as well have Reagan featured somehow, and I think she'll be in there.
There are probably flashbacks because the very short synopsis right now is the father of a possessed child, desperate for help, goes in search of someone who has had similar experiences. Chris McNeil.
Mm,
Yep.
So we're definitely getting. Isn't that is that the pastor or if one of the no? I don't know who
Yeah,
it is.
that sounds like a
Right?
pastor.
Right?
yeah, Chris has to be a pastor.
Exactly.
No,
The McNeil sounds like.
McNeil sounds like Irish.
yeah.
and
Yeah, I honestly don't
priest,
remember.
whatever. But whatever. So it sounds like we're gonna have flashbacks, so then the house is gonna have old and new.
That would make
I
sense.
guess maybe.
Oh.
So like a preview of the new with just like scenes of the old.
I mean that would be the way that they pull it off, is if they focus more on the old and then just throw in a little bit of new here and there, just to tease us for the upcoming movie.
This house is gonna suck ass. Like, oh my god.
All right.
I'm like,
Hmm.
what can you? It's I don't understand why they're. My theory on why this is actually coming is that this is the day and date release. This movie, that's never good. It's like they're doing this literally just to promote it because maybe they're worried it's very bad or something. Like I don't know this. I really this is might be on this map here. This is definitely my least anticipated
Mhm.
anything. Like it's all the way
Yeah.
down. Like it's not even close to any of the others. I'm not excited for it at all.
Yeah,
And apparently it stars Leslie Odom Jr.
I do like Leslie Odom Jr.
Yep.
I
It
do
does.
too, but I like him when he can
I believe he's the
Yeah.
dad of the possessed
sing and dance. I
child.
don't think there's gonna be any sing and dance in him.
You
I
never
don't
know.
think we're getting any.
Yeah.
Dear Theodosia, what do?
All right, we're moving on from next. We have nothing nice to say again. Well, guess what?
No.
The next one we don't have to talk about at all, except one thing. It's Chucky. It's coming. We know that. Been announced. As we discussed earlier, it is not believed it's going to be in a soundstage like listed here, but rather going over to Fast and Furious. And we don't need to talk about it. We've talked about it basically every week since October 31st. So, last thing we can discuss about this spec map, if we take the corner into New York, there is a listed scare zone, and that is Naughty Dog, The Last of Us.
Okay.
Okay.
So far away from.
I
the
mean, I
house.
get you want to fully take advantage of a property like that, right? It makes sense. And I think those characters and character designs could be super cool in a scare zone.
I mean, it would be great in a scare zone. Do I think it's actually going to happen? I don't know.
Very
I don't know.
debatable, right?
I wouldn't mind it though. I think I mean we know that especially in this area, like they can do zombies, and that's basically what The Last of Us is. They're a bunch of zombies. So it works. You can do maybe projections on the buildings to make it look like it's all been destroyed. You can maybe see things in the windows of like the infected going after humans or stuff like that. You can have maybe crashed helicopters or stuff like in the streets itself. There are a lot of things you can do with this property. Have the different levels of creatures. You can have normal humans that are you can only tell like getting real close that they're infected and they try to kill you. Then you can have the more you can have the progression of the infected as well. I think it can work really well. It's just something seeing an IP as a scare zone and a house is nothing I've personally experienced
Walking
before.
Dead, baby.
And that's why.
Walking Dead, that little
Oh
known
yeah,
series.
yeah.
It was sort of kind of at the event, I guess.
It was only just a little bit.
It was barely
wasn't
even here.
there for a long time.
Go ahead.
This would be similar to that. I mean, they're both technically. I mean, this is a zombie property, so maybe they said, "Hey, we've done it before. We've had zombies in zones and in houses, so why not do
All
it
right,
again?"
don't say that, please. But I do think this would also be the best location for it, in the sense that you could just make New York like a QZ. You could use projection mapping that we saw on like Acid Assault. I think that would be a nice effect, and I think it could work really well in general as a scare zone, and especially in New York.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Nope. Anyone else? Any ideas?
All right. Are we ready to?
Thoughts?
Are you ready to move on to the Hollywood map?
Oh fuck! I forgot
Let's
about
do
that.
it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We have a lot to talk about on
Jesus
this
Christ.
show. We really
It's a lot of the same things we've talked about locally.
Yeah.
move a lot faster.
Yeah.
I mean, we can just
Yeah,
like speed around all the ones we already talked
Do we
about.
quickly? Yeah. Do we just want to do that
Please.
real quick? Just knock out the ones we've discussed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's go
Let's
for
start at the. We won't even say locations yet until we get to ones we want to talk about. Chucky. It's Chucky. Universal Monsters
Cool.
Paris. We're very excited. Can't wait. Naughty
Paris.
Dog, The Last of
Woo.
Us. Oh, go ahead, Jonathan.
The game.
Oh,
Oh no, I
thought you
said woo.
ooh.
So I
like
would.
you're.
Oh.
Yes,
No.
it.
Well, Actually,
knew
sorry,
it.
I
I knew it.
I did.
Damn it.
This is a location we actually should talk about,
Okay.
Monsters Paris.
Is it the
Because
Parisian courtyard, Jonathan?
it's not in the Parisian courtyard now.
I
I win. I'm kidding. We don't.
don't think you win.
Fight.
Obviously.
I would totally win.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's not in the Parisian courtyard. It's in one of the Curious George tents now. Actually, what's in the Parisian courtyard is new, so we're not going to talk about that until we're done with the speed round. But yeah, that is a big change.
The big one. What if it's the big bitch? The one that we've been following the construction on.
The big bitch.
Oh yes,
The big bitch facade
Oh,
that we've been following for like a
Maybe, yeah.
month.
I like that we're just referring to it as the big bitch facade.
That's what I've been referring to it as. I'm just saying.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Whatever. I know.
All right.
What if it's like a
Naughty
fairy
Dog: The
dust?
Last of Us, again,
Sorry.
the video game. It will be cool, we're sure. The Exorcist Believer. Don't need to say anything. Top Secret. Don't need to say anything. Demon Slayer. And so that leaves us
definitely don't need to say.
with two houses and a terror tram to discuss. Oh, also, they still have a show, unnamed, but just show listed in the park. And I know a lot of people were wondering if it would because they've got rid of the former show space. So, although I think it's still standing at least.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
we'll see what happens.
Let's start with the terror tram because this is something that has been discussed before, but we haven't really got into it too much. Okay, maybe we did once. But anyways, terror tram celebrities.
If I remember correctly, this was on the last Hollywood map. It was just called this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing new. No one was okay. That's fine.
Go for it. Go for it, Jess.
I think it's interesting because it could potentially tie into what Murdy was talking about writing scripts for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if the celebrities tie into the marketing we were potentially talking about, and the HHN updater? Like, we've thrown around dead meat before. Like, that could all tie in. Honestly, like, I feel like there is a potential there.
Yeah, I think.
So.
No, I would love
really
that. Cool. I think that's the best case scenario for the terror tram. To be completely honest, I think that's a very fun idea. I think it's something that all of us will enjoy, being HHN podcasters and stuff. And I'd love to see what Murdy thinks of everyone speculating and crap. Like, I think that would be a funny point of view.
I think he's made those thoughts clear. But yes, it would be cool to live them out.
He has.
All right. So next we have something we sort of discussed earlier. That's Holidays in Hell as a house and not a scare zone like in Orlando.
So they're bringing houses back still.
Potentially.
Yeah.
And Jonathan, this was noted on last week's episode. Or was it the week before? Okay.
It was last week's.
What was that? Bring it up again.
Basically, that the facade in this location, which if I'm looking correctly here, I think that's the tent behind the soundstage, the clown tent. I can't tell from this map.
But it's somewhere in that area, yeah.
But yeah, that's where it's rumored. Basically, on that specific tent, the facade itself has a very similar, very, very early, but a very similar early layout to how Holidays in Hell was laid out. It has the slit in the middle where the clock would go. It has the speakers on the right where the sound came out of. It's very similar to Holidays in Hell was laid out. Does it mean it's going to be Holidays in Hell? No, it could just be a similar facade with a similar type thing. It's also, like we said before, it's so early in the construction on that particular area that it could be built out and just look completely different. But right now, Holidays in Hell is speculated because if you're just looking at the facade itself, it does look like a very base version of what that was.
And for all we know, this could be on the spec map because for that same reason, because it looks the same. Or obviously, there's a lot more credibility suddenly if it's like it's being speculated and it looks like it. So we don't know exactly how this rumor came about, though. So I won't look too much into that.
Yeah.
And then we do have one more that is going to be a very angry owl.
He's pissed.
So mad.
Oh my god.
What did you do to him,
Me?
Jeff?
Who's Jeff?
What?
Who the fuck
I
is
said
Jeff?
Duff, damn it.
No, you said Jeff.
What did Jeff do to him, you know?
I don't know. We'll ask him.
You sounded so angry, Duff. It's like, who's Jeff? Jealous.
Unless
jealous
it's
wife
Jeff
over
Probst,
here.
I don't want it.
Oh, don't tease me with a good time.
You're right. We don't want to go down the rabbit hole. Owl. Angry owl. Let's go.
Yeah, let's talk about an owl, please.
So I believe one of the things that has been brought to light is I guess it's folklore or legend called La Lechuza, which is basically a witch who turns into an owl and eats people. Is that?
Hell yeah.
I searched it up, and obviously things like this, it's hard to just search it up and get any clear answer because there's a lot of different interpretations of things. And this, what I say, might be completely wrong. This is just from something I found. If it's wrong, I'm very sorry. But basically, the description gave that La Lechuza was once a human woman who was wronged in some way and now roams the earth as a half-human creature seeking revenge. There's different versions of this character. One of them is that the character is a witch. Another one is that there's other things, supernatural things related to them. There's different. I've heard that there's different ways that the person got wronged. Some involving like her children dying. Some involving other things. But I think the main constant is that it's a person who turns into an evil owl. And some of the things I read said the owl even has like a human face, which is really disturbing. So yeah, and the facade itself, we've seen, now this one has the most detail out of all the facades we've seen at Hollywood so far. It got even more since we talked about it last. It does not look like Monsters, which this map is saying, yeah, Monsters is probably not there. It doesn't look like any IP that's been speculated, to be completely honest, with the colors it's been using. Doesn't look like Last of Us. Doesn't look like anything. So I would say, like, this some legend or some original like this. I feel like this has to be an original, and I feel like, I don't know. I feel like this could fit in this location. Looking at the facade the way it is right now, it's still a little early, but I could see this fitting.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it seems like a trend that's been happening recently across HHN again. Kind of do these legends. And this sounds like a very cool one.
It's not one I knew before. Seeing an owl, and my friends searching it up.
I guess we should point out it can be, this legend can be found in certain states throughout Mexico, as well as Texas and California.
Yep.
Cool. So I have a question. So if Top Secret is Stranger Things, or if Demon Slayer is Stranger Things, on the Hollywood map, does that mean there is another IP that would be going there, or do we think it would be another original house? Mostly focused on Hollywood, just because in Orlando would make sense that maybe we're just getting another original to be the 5 and 5.
Yeah.
But in Hollywood, we mostly get IPs over there. What do you guys think?
I mean, I can answer both sides from what I believe, and in that I think Orlando will stay a 5-5 split, as they've intended for years, the past several years now, even though they didn't get it. And I think in Hollywood it'll probably be an IP.
Cool. So, do we have any speculation what that IP might be?
Stranger Things.
Well, I already said that one of those is going to be Stranger Things. The other one is going to be,
because there's Demon Slayer.
Oh, I see.
There's Demon Slayer and Top Secret. Where in Orlando we could just say like, okay, there's an 5-5 split, but in Hollywood, what does that mean over there? Do we get an original, or do we get them to pull out What do
It'll
we
be an
get?
old IP, I think.
An old IP, just with kind of the Exorcist treatment.
They're
where
gonna
they
have
just,
the
like, pull out
Exorcist and the Exorcist Believer.
Well,
Oh, God.
they had
Killer
2 last
Clowns or
year
something.
with Killer Clowns and La Llorona.
They've done it with Halloween 4.
So yeah, so like they could do an original brought back Holidays in Hell and an IP brought back, which I don't
Yeah.
know what it could be. I mean, they could do Trick or Treat again because they like to do like cult favorite things. Also, it seems like Killer Clowns they brought back. So
I don't. Their Trick or Treat. I've seen videos of it.
Not look good.
Oh, it looked
I went
very
through it.
bad.
It was pretty
I
poor.
hope they do not bring back that one.
Oh, I agree, but I'm just saying I could see it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see. I hope we get another original because those tend to be better, right, over in Orlando?
Yeah.
In Orlando?
Mm-hmm.
Or Hollywood, I'm sorry.
Define usually
I thought you guys
better.
liked Scarecrow, and
It was good, but it was no.
I mean, I think
Orlando's.
there's sometimes they really excel. La Llorona being an example of that.
I really like the collective we all did.
We did.
There are times
well, I'm
where
definitely trying to make it over there this year. I have a much more free time.
perfect.
where I
Next
can
time you
take
can
Hell yeah.
next year when
Yeah.
we're talking about this again. Well, all
You can with us.
Right.
And then we'll talk about knots
I
for
think-
an hour.
Maybe that'll be the opening for our Hollywood trip. As well, just be like, so we went to our Hollywood.
But I think that in general,
Holy
they're kind of
escalators.
they've done some really good ones, but also I think it's kind of hit or miss.
Mm.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I remember my least favorite Hollywood house of all time, for Hollywood in particular, is an original, and my favorite Hollywood house is an original. So they've been on both spectrums for me.
Man, it's going to be really confusing when we have 2 Jonathans on our show. These are the things that I have anxiety about.
Well,
It's like-
Jonathan, John, done. Over.
John and
Yeah.
Jonathan. Yeah,
That's a lot of people with J names in one show.
that's
Yep,
It's true.
Jess, Jeff.
Jeff.
Yep.
Jeff.
Bill Jeff. Yeah.
Jake. That sounds weird.
Who's
That sounds
who's
weird. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I feel like I
All
said a
right.
slur.
Anything
I
else
just
about
made it a
Hollywood?
Jesus.
up,
The
honey,
Death
new
Eaters
slur
are
just
still on
dropped.
the map.
Is it dwarf like Jury Duty? Are you guys watching Jury Duty?
Oh, I want to. It looks so good.
Oh, it's really good. And then you'll understand
Oh.
my dwarf reference.
Okay, I'll watch it. Oh goodness. All right, moving on before Duff offends somebody else.
I just created it. It's not even for anyone specific yet. It's just Mike at the moment, actually.
Just me.
Who's Jeff?
All right, let's.
Can we talk about the fucking video, please?
Video? What
Let's
video?
do it.
Didn't we talked
the
about the
main
fog video?
segment, Duff.
The
It
fog
was
is
a
a
joke.
stupid.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck you, Jeff.
Oh my god, I can't even joke anymore. We're so done. My god.
We've got Jeff and Jorf and
We've been
Jake. All these people.
we actually have one more rumor to discuss.
Oh my
Jonathan,
god.
I swear to
I
God.
know, I know. This one, I don't know if I should even say it, but
Oh,
I'm going to.
God.
Oh no.
'Cause
Oh,
I'm
I
evil.
yeah.
Um,
Oh no.
Yeah,
I
we can.
don't see it. What
This
is
one can
it?
go away. Yeah, just this
No.
one. So on Discord, someone asked, Mark on Discord, HNN,
Mhm.
hey, there's been rumors of a ghost scare zone. What do you think? And he basically replied that it's been a light rumor for a while, and it said that it's just been a light rumor for a while, so we'll see. So apparently, Ghost of the Scare Zone is I don't know what a light rumor means, but it is that.
No way. We're talking
no.
about the band, right?
Yes.
I know we've had this
Mhm.
conversation off mic, and I learned a lot about ghosts because I didn't know much, and it sounds like it's not really possible with the imagery they have.
There's no way.
His
Mhm.
whole thing is he's like a priest.
He's like the father of the whole clergy of. I'm probably saying all this wrong, and I'm so sorry if you're Ghost fans, but From what I've seen, yeah, it's very religious imagery, and he
And
is like
it's
the,
like
the priest or the
mocking
pastor.
religion too in the process.
If they thought the Christian TikTokers were sneaking into the event
Sneaking
last
in,
year,
You thought Crypt TV was bad?
right?
Ooh,
Right? Just
I think it
wait.
would be
Just
sick
wait till they
though.
have a ghost scare zone. The actual reason for them to sneak into the event
I
to
mean,
get their
that's not
clown
bad.
videos.
Take their money and then kick them out. I mean,
Yeah.
I do know, like, the cool thing is, like, I guess so, they release an album, then they go on a tour for that album, and at the end of that tour, he dies and comes back as, like, the next, like, Papa something, like, Roman
Mhm.
numeral, and it's, like, and he wears, like, a full silicone mask, and it's, like, it's very heavy on, like, the special effects and, like, the pageantry of it, but it's a lot
There's just no
from what
way.
I've seen.
I mean, it would be
Yeah.
amazing. It would be really cool. There's just
Yeah.
no way. It's like a Guar's scare zone or something. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it would be sick. Like, it would be so cool, but I don't think it's happening. Absolutely not.
It's the same reason we're never getting a Midnight Mass house. I've still seen
Yeah.
people talk about it. I'm like, Midnight Mass is not coming.
Well, look at
it's-
American Horror Story. The whole asylum takes place in, like, it's got nuns and all that shit running around. They did not do any of that. Like, Briarcliff was just an insane asylum. It was not anything to do with that part of it.
They know what they can
Got
touch
it.
and what they can't, and when it comes to religious imagery, they're just gonna they're gonna move past it. They're not gonna.
Yeah.
It's not coming.
Yep.
Are we good, Jonathan?
So yeah,
Can we go to the video?
we're good.
Can we
That
talk
was-
about
that
the
was it.
video now, Jonathan?
Yes, we can talk about the video.
All right.
But wait, no, I'm kidding. That was a joke.
I'll kick you out.
Now, if we're talking Ghost with Patrick Swayze, all right.
Hey, we make some pottery.
Right? You got a little hands-on pottery section.
Ooh, remember just a couple years ago we had vinyl between us. Now the scare actors and us are gonna get
Right?
personal.
No, they make you sit
God.
down and do some pottery together.
God. Now can we talk about the video,
Yes.
Jonathan?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, someone talk about the video. Oh, wow.
Who has
Wow,
thoughts?
That's us sitting there watching it. Nothing happened on the video.
Pretty much.
Right.
10 minutes of
No, there is a
static.
lot in this video. So Universal released a video that has what appears to basically like a podcaster talking about the legend of HHN, and how it is more than what we see. It's not this fake thing. It's real, and there's stuff behind it, right? And then static comes, and we've been trained to deal with static in HHN before, right? But this time there is a lot in the static, like a lot. And Jonathan, I believe you have tons of notes on what exactly can be seen.
Kind of. From what I remember, so there's a lot of static. Obviously, I do want to point out real quick that the podcaster is wearing an HN25 shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important because you pick out a shirt for a video for a specific reason, and then there is a lot of static, but then you can see letters, which are letters. They are not just runes or whatever. It's sort of like what was similar to the last Legend teaser that we saw before, like the Legend is real. It's similar to that, except there are letters. Actually, like me and Dove sat down and like we're picking them out. We're like, all right, A, C, like there were clear letters that you can write down. And while we weren't able to, I don't know if they actually gave a way to solve it or if we're missing letters or something, but it looked like the letters they chose were specific. They looked like if you tried hard and you found maybe some of the other letters that were hidden in there, you could actually form words.
There are runes as well, and those could be like the missing puzzle pieces.
Absolutely. And there were like backwards C's and stuff. Like there were a lot of different things in that.
Where's
section.
HHN Wiki? Is he in school right now? Like, why isn't this been solved?
But actually, he was able to figure out, and we were able to figure out too, that one of the things that you could see that was it was a clearer image than the majority of the stuff in that static. You saw like a face, like what is that? It actually looked like, and we compared the two. It looks like it was a pumpkin from the 30
It was the
years 30
pumpkin.
fear
It
scare
was
zone.
absolutely him. Like we've seen in a video, we've seen that exact video that they're using in the back with him.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly. So we assume that a lot of stuff in the
it's just
static
old footage.
is just reused.
Okay, red
A
herring,
lot
so to
of it
speak.
is, not all of it.
Because should we get
Yeah,
to
do the
the
fun
meat
stuff.
now? Okay, so basically, in the static, you start like seeing something like what's that? Because the first minute this video came out, I scrolled through, I'm looking like what's hidden in here, whatever, and I started seeing something in the corner. I'm like, what the fuck is that? It's a face. It's a very clear face. We have a picture of it on our Twitter and Instagram if you want to go and check it out yourself. There's also the video online. You can go try to search for it. But it is a clear face. You can see it moving around a bit. There are points where it gets a lot clearer. It sort of looks like some people have compared it to a clown of sorts or something along that line. You can hear a laugh, a evil laugh, and this evil laugh is not anyone we know before. It doesn't sound like anybody we know. It doesn't sound like Jack, Chance, Caretaker, Storyteller. It
And
doesn't sound like
trust them,
anybody. It
Jonathan
sounds
knows
like a new.
every single laugh that has ever been at the event.
Exactly.
Yes.
I've been to every year. I've studied the laughs. So crazy. I'm exactly. But it does not sound like anybody we've known before. Their laughs are pretty. You can tell this is a new person. This is a new laugh. Whatever. And yeah, you get that, and you get a little clearer version before the static ends, and the video ends with the actual podcaster like frozen, sort of standing up, looking up. I'm a little scared, shaking a little bit,
Which
and then it ends.
we should point out, a
And
lot of people, while we don't necessarily think the same, a lot of people think they're being, for lack of a better term, vecna'd.
It seems like that, right?
But
Yeah.
I don't. But it doesn't seem the same. I think they would have done more of the whole lift thing, at that point.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the lift is pretty important when you get the classic phrase "vecna'd." So, and also something like this, it it's so with the 25 shirt, it doesn't seem like they're trying to promote any IP.
Yeah.
To be honest, it doesn't look like something like it'd be interesting if there was an IP hidden in here somewhere. But to be honest, it looks like something involving something original. It doesn't look like they're promoting any type of IP house that's coming. Though we could be wrong. Honestly, it's really hard to see everything in this static and figure out what exactly it means.
Yeah, I
And
think you're totally right, though. Where this doesn't seem like it's teasing an
Mhm.
IP. It's very too HHN focused.
mm-hmm. And should we talk about even before this video, the TikTok itself also posted another video of but that one was of static. Like it was
Mhm.
just static, but
Yeah.
it was like obviously related to this in some way, like a little tease or something.
Yeah, it feels like "See You in the Fog" is going to be a lot more prominent than maybe we expected.
Wait, what? What?
Because there's a lot of fog. It cuts between static and fog in the video.
Oh,
On the
yeah,
TikTok
it does.
and the 10-minute video.
Mm,
It goes back and forth.
good catch on that.
I think
Oh God, I hope it's not more prominent.
Mhm. It's better
we
than
didn't
never
really go
going
into
home.
discussion about the image that we saw that we don't know and what people think it is and what we kind of think it is too.
Oh,
Oh
We talked
yeah.
about earlier. So for multiple
I
reasons.
also have a theory.
So the big one right now is it's Dr. Oddfellow.
Mhm.
One, because we've really never, there's been one representation of him ever, and it was in HHN 10, in Fear House, and there's literally not even footage of his existence. So we don't know what he looked like in the house at this point. Lost to time.
Mhm.
But there is a like logo of the house and
Mhm.
a characterization of him. And I must say, one, his hair is kind of like, imagine if Jack was balding. He's got like the side spouts kind of, but it's like slicked back on top. And that's still we looked at. You can kind of make out what you can say is the hair coming out from the side. He kind of has that kind of like
Mhm.
sunken skeletal face as well. And it's white and pale like his is portrayed. in this image.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a theory because I know a lot of people online were saying, "Oh, is that the usher?" Because his face is sunken in. Who there is an actor who is still employed by Universal who portrays the usher whenever
Mm-hmm.
he's needed in the past, years for videos or whatnot. He's still employed, like I said, and I think that this still looks like him because he might be portraying
Mm.
Oddfellow because he
Oh,
has that.
Oh.
He's balding and he
so
has
you're
that
saying
face.
it's Oddfellow, but it is that
It's that
actor, yeah.
actor, but he has that sunken in face and he's
Mm-hmm.
very like lanky. He's at horror makeup show if you guys don't know most of the time. But like yeah, I that's my theory as to why everyone thinks it looks like
Mm-hmm.
the usher
That makes
because that
sense,
is him.
actually.
That would make a lot of
So
sense.
Because that ain't Albert Kane. Because I saw people saying that. I know my man.
last week, very briefly, we brought up the potential of an icon, an odd from Legacy, and
Mm-hmm.
has that been alluded to any further since then, Jonathan?
Um, it hasn't been alluded to further. I don't think like the conversation continued. But once again, I can give the real quick rundown. I left out the further part of that conversation, right? So basically, someone asked, "Hey, can this be related to uh no, okay, so there was okay, ready, I'm thinking there's a lot of Discord stuff at a lot of different times that my mind races. So the first comment was someone said, hey, can Puppet Master be the icon, because they were talking about Puppet Master or whatever, and Legacy replied, that would be odd. And then he got the second comment of going, hey, is there a possibility of an Oddfellow house? And then in parentheses it also went or as an icon for this year. And then Legacy literally replied and said, uh, uh, there's been a reason I've been saying odd, like it was been on purpose, that odd equals odd fellow. So if we're taking all that information, he replied odd with a literal icon comment, and he responded to a comment that had like a potential odd fellow icon question in there, and he just said he didn't even debunk it. He's like, that's I've been saying odd for a
Mm-hmm.
reason. I think that's like a very clear way of like him saying without saying it. Yeah, he might also think Oddfellow is the icon this
Yeah.
year.
So us being able to look in and pick out and go, "Ooh, that looks like it could be Oddfellow," and then going back and realizing that Legacy has been teasing this odd for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be the top rumor on my mind as far as what this could be.
Me too. I mean, we're also it's been heavily we just talked about it, speculated that we're getting an Oddfellow house.
Mm-hmm.
So that adds more fuel to the fire in my mind. And I'm not gonna lie, if this ends up being true, this this is gonna be our first icon in a while, because I know a lot of people consider, like, I still consider Pumpkin Lord icon, but also he wasn't really promoted in marketing, and it kind of felt sort of shoved in there a little bit, and we didn't have a big marketing
Mm-hmm.
presence. But if this is an icon and this is Oddfellow, and that's what this is teasing in some way or fashion, that's what the legend is. Maybe the legend is Oddfellow, which there is a legend of Oddfellow, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. Um, if that's true, then that means that this is our first like real. It's weird saying that marketable icon in a very long time.
Yes, for sure, and a like brand new icon, sort of. I guess he's
Mm-hmm.
kind of on Pumpkin Lord's level technically because he was in a house and he was in a house just a lot longer ago than Pumpkin Lord.
Oh yeah. And he's related to Jack, which usually, I'm usually like, all right, we can wait for Jack for a bit, but I think this actually makes it super interesting, because if it can expand on Jack's story and give Jack more character than he already has, give him more, uh, I don't know, like more information on how he was, like his whole backstory and everything like that, and you can expand upon that while also creating a different, like he's been existed before, but for the purpose of this and for the purpose of many people, he's going to be a new character to them. So creating a new character on top of expanding Jack's backstory potentially in the house or in the event, or I don't even know how they're going to do it. That is just really cool. Like, it really excites me a lot of the potential of this.
Yeah, I would be absolutely stoked if this comes true, and I will be very happy thinking about it in the meantime.
Yeah.
All right.
Hopefully we'll get more information soon.
Do we have anything else to add when it comes to this video?
I look forward to see how they conclude it, because I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a continuation situation.
All right, moving on to the last thing we have to do, and
wow, we have to do.
That was
Jesus.
Don't forget voicemails, as it says in our.
Oh, we can't forget them. I have them right in front of me.
I don't know why I read it in that voice. That's just how it sounds.
I wrote it exactly like that.
Don't forget
correct.
your voicemails.
Like Winslow from Cat Dog.
Goodness. All right.
Yeah, that was what I was going for. I was going for Winslow from Cat Dog.
That's my reference for everything. I don't know about you, Mike. All right.
Yo, what's up, 365 crew? Listening to your Devil Goes Down to Universal episode, you guys briefly talked about Poseidon's Fury, and Jonathan mentioned Terramines. Classic house. I mean, that was the only house ever in that attraction, and they used the water tunnel, which I thought was really, really cool. And it was the first house that had you wear a mining helmet. They gave it to, like, I think it was like every other person, and basically that was your only light source going through that house, and that was really, really cool. And then there was one other house that used the mining helmet. It was People Under the Stairs. I think those are the only two houses that I can remember that used the mining helmet. I thought that was a really, really cool feature that Universal did, and that'd be something I feel like I'd love them to bring back, but I feel like it just won't ever happen. But yeah, finishing up the episode, you guys take care. See ya.
Oh, People Under the Stairs under construction, you beautiful bitch. Also, terrible bitch.
If it comes back, can we get one for every person, please? Can we order a couple more so it doesn't have to be like every third, every fourth?
They would have to be like the 3D glasses, like cardboard, to do that.
That's true.
They hand everyone just a flashlight. Put it
It's
on your
just
head.
a glow
Just-
stick,
just
Mike.
put it-
It's not even a flash. You gotta crack it right before you walk in.
It's like you're a unicorn, just like walking through.
But thank you for the call. I appreciate that. Yeah, Terramines is, has weird history with being the first and one of only two houses to attempt the whole headlamp thing, and then also was the only house ever in that location.
Yeah. And that ride is closing really soon. Is it this week?
Well, is it
Yeah.
the 9th? So
Next,
The
Oh,
9th or 10th or something. The 9th is the last
the
day.
shirt's sold out in
yeah,
what?
apparently
a day?
they are getting more. We heard.
Yeah.
Oh, I
good,
need
'cause
a
want one.
shirt. I need a shirt.
I'm wearing
need
it
to go
now,
get one.
actually. Yes,
Are
I
you
am.
really? Do you buy? Are you hoarding the
Yes,
shirt
I am.
stuff?
Are you the
You
eBay
should
seller?
see my living
Right.
room right now.
Oh God.
Just a bunch of Poseidon's Fury shirts.
And headlamps from
Right.
Terramines.
That's why they everyone couldn't have one.
Duff took them all.
He would just go 12-year-old Duff would just steal all of them.
That should not be that funny, but it is.
Wasn't that your very first house ever?
People Under the Stairs under construction was my very first house ever.
So same
Yes.
fucking thing.
Yes.
You were not the one with the headlamp, I'm
I was not.
assuming. Were you upset about it? Because I would have been pissed.
No, it was my first house. I didn't want to see anything, to be honest.
Oh, that's actually valid. All right. Next one.
Hey, first first-time caller, long-time listener. Always wanted to say that. Anyway, listen, I just got my shirt in today. I got the BuzzCon shirt. Love it. It's fucking amazing. Looks great on me. I just wanted to stop in and say, hey, I love the channel. I love supporting you guys. You're the shit. How excited are we for a Lady Gaga house? It's happening. We know it's going to happen. The success of the weekend last year, it was a vibe. Everybody loved it. Man, it's going to be another vibe. I know everybody wants Metallica or AC/DC or some shit like that, and that's dope, and I'm cool with it. But listen, there's a vibe that comes with that type of music, like The Weeknd, and when you're in that motherfucking queue, you love that shit, and I know you do, so let's get it. Come on, let's get it. Jess, you want it. I know there was a little weekend overload, but listen, give me a dabble, just a dabble of The Weeknd, just a dabble of Abel.
Oh, no.
We can get this rolling. Thank you so much for what you guys do, man. I love every fucking episode you drop. Hey, I'm in the car right now, so I might be yelling. I apologize for that. Hey, all the way from up in Idaho, I just wanted to say,
shit.
Love y'all like I love y'all, man, and thank you for the shirt. I love it. It's amazing. I hope I see y'all in the fog.
My neck of the woods.
Oh my God, I love you.
That is
I
the
love
best
your
voicemail
energy.
we have ever gotten.
I love the support.
Yeah, no.
But Lady
great.
Gaga's not coming.
Your no, your
Yo.
energy is fantastic.
We're talking over the. That was the best voicemail we have. I'm just starstruck. That was amazing.
Starstruck is a Lady Gaga
Oh my
song,
God.
actually, Mike. Good job.
Confirmed.
Yo, like I'm speechless.
No, I
can we
love
just
them.
have a him call in every episode?
It's a request from Mike.
Dabble of this guy,
Dabble.
please.
Dabble of Abel, dabble you.
Weekend Overload.
Right?
Yeah, you're amazing.
Yo, like,
you make me believe in the weekend
Yeah.
again. A little bit. I'm not gonna
more
lie.
of you
Dabble of
voicemails,
Abel.
please. Mystery of
From
Dabble guy.
Idaho.
Mystery Devil guy.
Mystery
Idaho.
Idaho Dabble. You need to tell us when you're in the fog, sir. And we got stickers for you just for your energy
I think we
alone.
need to make a
Please.
special, just one-off sticker that says "Dabble of Abel."
Dabble of Abel.
That is. Don't lie. That's the best line you've ever heard from a voicemail. Dabble of Weekend.
It
Dabble
is.
of Abel.
It is.
I mean,
Brilliant.
we've had some amazing voicemails. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
But yo, that was.
Mike said,
that was
"Step
it.
your damn game up, everyone."
Right?
It was
And with that, we have one
Yeah,
more
that was
voicemail.
great.
So let's
We
stop
do.
propping
And
this one
this
up
is
so much.
not a first time caller. This is someone we've all heard from before.
Hey guys, this is El Churro Guapo, your friend from Southwest Texas, calling again. I hope I reach you guys in time to go after a response regarding the last teaser. Do not watch we got on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter from HHN and themselves. I just wanted to say I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I really think this is a huge misdirect. If you look at some of the images, I think these are just like old commercials, old videos, old sound clips from HHN events past. There's been you can see the pumpkin, you can see old icons. I think this is just a huge misdirect on the part of the crew at HHN, because I believe they wanted to get everyone talking, everyone thinking, what could all this stuff mean? And then at the end we get an announcement pretty soon that throws us completely off guard. Like, hey, that went completely the other way. That's something that I'm thinking about, because as I'm seeing these clips, everyone's like, oh, this could be Oddfellow, this could be Chucky over here, maybe we're getting a new icon with that pumpkin dude. I really think these are just all distorted clips and audio from HHN past. I might be wrong, but I guess we'll see, but I really hope if the rumors are true that we end up getting Stranger Things. That would be awesome. I know a lot of people are tired out from Stranger Things, but I would really like it. Hope to hear from you guys. We all have a good time. See you in the vlog.
El Churro Guapo, thanks for calling as always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hit a lot
Yeah.
of things in that
And
voicemail.
you got it in time. You're on the episode you
Absolutely.
wanted to be on. Here we are. So you just heard us talk about
Hey.
exactly what you discussed. And I think you're at about 90% correct that it really is just mainly old reused footage, like you just heard us talk
Mhm.
about. I also think there's a couple things that are not. And I think another big factor, and I forgot to bring this up when we were talking about before, that makes me think that there is really something to this. Typically, once Universal goes out and actually produces something new and something specific, it's legit. And there's a reason behind it. When they don't actually have anything behind it, it's just static, right? You aren't going to have the rest of it. You aren't going to have the podcaster. Um, so I feel like that alone leads me to believe there's something to this at the very least.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely. The face itself seems so intentional. I mean, you had not only the face, but you also had the laugh with it as the face was coming in.
Hmm.
Uh, there is so much reused stuff to probably. I mean, it looks like it to probably up the creepiness, up
Yep.
the factor. You know, when you reuse stuff, like reusing stuff is a very easy, like cheap way. It's free to, besides the stuff you got to do to it, to add stuff without having to film any more new content or anything like that to create a more creepy atmosphere, mysterious vibe or whatever. But that, like you said, that face in particular, the face, the beginning and the end, they seem like all new
Hmm.
things. Especially because the way we've looked at that character in the episode we've been talking about, it doesn't look like an icon we've seen before. Besides the similarities to Usher, like the hair in particular doesn't look like an icon we've seen before, and I think that's on purpose. I mean, and even they've been teasing the legend thing for, I mean, since the last teaser, and then you got this one. They've continued to talk about the legend. I feel at this point, if they keep talking about this specific legend, that it's I don't think it's going to amount to something inconsequential. I think they are preparing to build us up for something important and new that is
Hmm.
the legend.
Yep, I completely agree.
Can I admit something? I've been staring at this picture that you guys posted on our Twitter, and I don't see shit. I see nothing. I see
So
a couple of dark spots. You guys are talking about like sunken in eyes and like hair. I see nothing. I don't know what you guys. I've never been good at like of these things. I just see a little bit of color. It looks like maybe like Skeletor or something. Like
So,
I really
so
do
you see
not see
something.
much here.
There's something in there.
I don't know. I mean, I if I
So
stare at it and squint my eyes like whatever what were those things where you like stare at them long enough and they pop out,
I forget.
like the
Yeah,
hidden
I know
eye
what you're talking about. I
puzzles.
forget if they have a real title, but yeah. If you
S-
just, if you
Yeah,
just
like
close your right
maybe
eye and
that's what
close your left eye,
yeah,
you'll see it.
I don't see shit, guys. I don't know what.
so how I would help here is you got the picture up, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at
All
it
right,
right now.
all listeners,
So
pull up
look
the
at the
photo. We're
wider.
gonna do a walkthrough of this.
Exactly. Everybody pull up the photo. We're gonna do a walkthrough. You see the wider part of the static, right? Like there's a part that's very much
Yeah.
lighter than the other part.
Yes.
So if you look on the right of that light part, like you see a little, like you see black and then another like white circle in the middle of that. So you see like a little bit of black and then a little white circle.
Is that supposed to be an
That's
eye? Is that
that's an eye. And then if you
okay?
follow it, you're like, wait a minute. So that's an eye, and then you see a little dark spot of like next to the eye of like a darker line. You can sort of follow that with your mouse or
Yeah.
your finger or
Okay.
whatever.
All right.
You can say that's the nose.
That's the no. I thought that was the hair. What
No,
you
no,
mean?
that's
You
not.
mean under the little spot?
Yeah,
This
under
is
the little
compel.
spot.
This is
Yeah.
really. Unless you're doing this along,
This
this
is
is a
what the
really
listeners came
compelling
for.
podcast.
Exactly. But like what I can see is there are
What?
like
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna take you
yeah.
guys' word for it.
No,
I
you're
I
good.
see static of different colors. I don't know.
A lot. I think someone posted on our Twitter like a image of like the person like just like trying to look. I forgot that meme of like the person trying to look and like not being able to see anything.
Yeah, that's me. That's me right now in my dark ass
What if
living
it's just
room.
a minion?
Oh my god, don't. Oh my god.
Any
The Minions canceled HHN. They are HHN
back to the real
now.
stuff. Something I didn't just.
We're being rickrolled, right? Like someone's gonna zoom in and it's just gonna be like the fucking rickroll.
Like actually, like Rick Astley, just chilling on the screen.
Yeah, like Rick Astley.
He's the icon.
Never gonna give you up.
It's the new Another Way
Before
Out.
we got into
Never
this
gonna
whole
go alone.
watch along, whatever the fuck that was,
Stare
along.
What's
I was gonna
called a
I was gonna bring up
stare-along,
how
though.
we talked about all the big stuff. There is like even smaller things that were unique and new. There's like a song that plays right at the end, and you could look the song up, and it's something they've never used for HHM before. So not everything is something that has been used. There are definitely new things in this video. So they have put some sort of work in this to produce something different.
Okay.
He sounds so convinced.
I just seem fucking static. Okay. I mean,
All right, Jeff, stop it.
Fuck.
I'm okay. I'm taking your guys' word for it. This is.
No, I get it.
I've never been able to do this type of thing though. Where like
No,
people
no, it's
like
good.
optical illusions, where people like, oh yeah, do you see? I would just be like, yeah, I okay, yeah, I see it. It's an old lady drinking tea. I see it.
I want to do one of
I
those
don't
blob
see it.
tests with you. It's a blob. It's another blob. Oh, it's the Nickelodeon splat. Hell yeah.
It's an old lady drinking tea. Okay. All right. Any more voicemails?
That was all.
No, that's it. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Well, if you made it through this 3-hour slobber knocker,
You deserve an award. Slobber knocker. I gotta go.
I've been slobber knocking.
Oh, Jesus.
all right, leave us a voicemail, Mr. Idaho. If you made it through, you say you listened to all of them. Did you get through this one?
The keyword is dabble of Abel.
Little dabble of
All
it.
right, yeah. Let us know with a hashtag Devil of Abel if you made it through the entire through the show. At Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at HHN365, and we have a TikTok at HHN365pod. Leave us a message on Discord. Link is in the description.
Just
Hashtag
leave us
Dabble
a single message. Just one.
Just hashtag Dabble of Abel.
Come in, leave it, get the fuck out.
Right.
Oh my god.
Definitely buy a shirt if you like them at hhn365.com and leave us a voicemail 407-906-4134. But bring your A game because there's a new
Bring your Idaho game.
Yeah. Maybe Idaho is just so boring. That's what like
Wow.
he just needs to call
He
it.
was so nice, and you're like
Call it a
shooting out
podcast.
his home. Jesus.
Oh, I mean, I'm from that nook of the woods. I've driven through Idaho. There's no.
I'm
much
sure
going
Idaho's
on.
nice. He's just being mean.
No, I'm just kidding. Idaho is lovely. Idaho is lovely. I'm from Salt Lake City, so it's way better than there. So, all right. Well,